A friend asked me to make a video on a game that I really love, a game that I'm passionate about. And one of the games that I love a lot is Golden Sun. And I thought I could record footage of the game, but a combination of that being a lot of work and also of that not necessarily giving me what I need, I think, to really fully explain what it is I love about the game has led to what you see now, which is a Windows photo viewer showing a picture. This is the overworld map for Golden Sun, the original. And you might notice that it looks mostly devoid of anything. There's only 3 labeled places. That's because this map is actually of Golden Sun 2. You can't visit almost the entirety of the continent from Golden Sun 1, but imagine all this filled with towns, caves, locations. You travel across this continent throughout the first game, and you get to see it, and you go on an adventure, and you explore interesting places, and you meet interesting people. And the journey you go on isn't unique, original. It isn't. It's a pretty typical go save the world story. But it's a go save the world story executed well. And one thing I love in games, especially role-playing games, is when they let you explore a world. And the thing is that after Golden Sun 1, you switch perspectives to a second party in the second game. And it's not just this continent here, Angara, that you're on anymore. Instead, instead, look at that. Look at how much there is. Oh, I did forget you do actually explore this part of the second continent as well. But just zoomed out all the way. You explore an entire world throughout the course of these 2 games. You see different places, different cultures. It's like dim sum in the form of an entire setting. And none of the cultures are presented particularly deeply, it's true. And most of them are pretty much just lifted from the real world. But it's still so fascinating to go and get to see, and get to visit places and see people, to visit different locations, to see where things occurred in the past in the setting and see what they are now. Most of the ruins that you visit, if not all of them, were once places of great importance, places of industry in a long forgotten age, now reduced And that sense of exploration as you go, as you quite literally in some cases climb these ancient edifices, not to be confused with ancient edifices, that's a completely different matter. As you claim the secrets within, unlocking new powers, new abilities, things that these ancient peoples had that have been now sealed away, you really feel like you are seeing the world, like you are learning about that. It's not a lot, but it's a glimpse into what was in this setting. And it's part of what makes me love these two games. Golden Sun 1 and 2 are very wordy. They are very wordy games. One character in particular, who, if you've played the second game, I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. It's never bothered me enough to really ruin the enjoyment, but I'll admit that's a flaw. And ultimately, I guess why I love Golden Sun is because it might not have a very high concept story that's trying to break new boundaries. It's not trying to make a statement about anybody's personal philosophy. You're not going to. Golden Sun isn't trying to tell you anything, I guess is what I'm saying. And that sounds like damning with faint praise, but I mean it in a very positive way. That Golden Sun has a story that it wants to tell, and it tells that story, and that's all. It doesn't feel the need to say, and this is the importance of free will, or faith, or any number of things. Oh God, Star Ocean 4. Oh, fuck. Japan, please learn what evolution means. You can't use the word evolution like that. Oh. Whew. Its cast of characters is primarily made up of admittedly rather shallow people, but it manages to, for the most part, avoid the worst of anime tropes. And in the end, simple characters, I think, fit the relatively simple story that's being told of a world at risk of destruction that must be averted. And the journey of those characters that they embark upon to stop the destruction. And along that way, admittedly, you don't meet a ton of memorable characters. Most people are nameless NPCs in towns. And yeah, that means that the characters need to kind of carry things on their own. And as I mentioned, they're, for the most part, pretty shallow. Which isn't to say that their interactions aren't enjoyable, but, you know, this isn't Deep Space Nine. This isn't Babylon 5. I mean, obviously not. It's fantasy. It's not sci-fi. But also in terms of the focus on characters and character interaction, it's not. But I think that just lets it emphasize even more that sense of exploration, that sense of going and seeing this world and seeing what towns or landmarks what ruins you'll stumble across and what you'll discover. And ultimately, that is what I love about Golden Sun 1 and 2. And I guess that's just about all I have to say without getting all defensive and nitpicky over the plot and how I think that it actually is not a simple just go and save the world story as it can sometimes be made out to be, but I'd rather just say why I really love it than get worked up over the fact that other people don't enjoy it as much as I do. Well, if anybody other than my friend who asked for this is listening, thanks. If it is just my friend, thanks anyway for encouraging me to do this. Have a good day.